Feels good, doesn't it? Wanted to give a little countdown here before we talk about 3 in a row for your Denver Broncos. It is Orange Blue Postgame. Cecil Lammey talking about the Broncos now with a 3-2 record, 3 games in a row. And let's go. Raiders streak over. Bo Nix growing. Javonte Williams back. And defense balling out. Yeah, sounds about right. Get your glow sticks ready. It's Orange Blue today. Post game. Cecil Lammey talking about the Denver Broncos. And super, super excited to get into this game. Bo Nix and Sean Payton shouting at each other. I'm sure there are plenty of members of the media that are ready to go when it comes to asking that question. Let's have the answers. The Broncos beat the Raiders. Let it breathe, as the big fella would say. Like, yes, the Broncos beat the Raiders. They've beaten the Las Vegas Raiders for the first time in that franchise's history. They were the team that dealt the Oakland Raiders their last defeat on the very last game of the Oakland Raiders. And now, after 8 games of losing, they got one. It did not go to 9 because of the Denver Broncos' efforts today. 34-18, the final score. Not even really that close, honestly, when we look at how this thing went down for the Denver Broncos. And now we look at how it can go moving forward for this team. So let's jump into it. Let's talk about it. The chat room is fired up. Going to be getting to plenty of your chats here today as well. So thanks everyone for jumping in. And it just feels great after a Broncos win, after another Broncos win. It feels great. You're seeing things built. Is this team in a playoff conversation? Why, yes, they are. Now, is it too early to talk about that? Why, yes, it is. So let's get into this game. Wardell says that was a win. That's right. That was a win for sure. Rudy said, did someone say playoffs? I mean, yeah, it's trending that way. November's still going to be a test. November looks a little bit different now than it did previously, but it's still going to be a test. Broncos, take the L on your way out. That's right. Cody, let's go. FTR, go Broncos. That's right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Beating the Raiders finally. It feels great. Yes. And when Aiden O'Connell comes in, you know that they're waving the flag. They were saying uncle. They're waving the white flag, and it was over. And yeah, that was fantastic. There you go. Broncos Stampede. I freaking love Bo leave, call out Sean Payton and win. Yes. Not exactly sure what that means, but I think it means I love that Bo called out Sean Payton. I'll get into that there as well. But once again, this defense coming through in a major, major way, and you love to see it because early on it did not start that way. In fact, early on it was kind of disappointing, disheartening a little bit in the fact that, well, Pat Surtain was not on Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is our only weapon with no Devontae Adams, him not wanting to be there. They'll figure something out there. The Brock Bowers play, the big touchdown to open up the game, you're like, oh, damn it. Like, that's terrible. Like, what are you doing? You're supposed to have Surtain on Brock Bowers. Instead, it leads to a big play, the largest play for Bowers and the Raiders there. But it didn't last. And I'm going to bring up some numbers as I go through and talk about that because Pat Surtain leading the way. 100-yard pick six. And won't spend too much time on it, but I had some troll on Twitter like, how is that awesome? It's a 100-yard pick six, troll. Like, stop. Everyone just stop. Let's praise when things are going right. And let's talk about when you have such a huge play like that. That is fantastic. Now, the numbers that you'll see, Brock Bowers versus non-Surtain Broncos defenders, 7 targets, 6 receptions, 84 yards. Of course, the big one there. Brock Bowers versus Surtain, 2 targets, 2 INTs. So, like, you love to see that. You want to see that. You want to see more of that. And it's something that I asked Vance Joseph on Thursday about, like, are we going to see Pat Surtain on Brock Bowers? He didn't really answer me because he probably didn't want to. But yes, at times we did. Maybe we should have seen it more. Whatever. I don't care. This is a big win. This is a big win. We're going to talk about it all. We're going to talk mainly just about how you feel, right? Over this type of game. How do you feel over the Broncos rolling? And the Bo Nix haters, which I know there's a lot out there, you gotta calm down, right? Let the game go through the entire game. Hell, let the whole season go for this kid just to see where he's at. But in the first half, I was speaking of trolls, I've got some friends that are trolls that were texting like, oh, Bo's terrible. And I'm like, oh my God, please. Do we have to start this again? One of my buddies, again, absolute troll, was just like, put in Zach Wilson. Like, that's just dumb. 2 rules in life. Don't be dumb. Don't be in a cult. So if you're texting or suggesting that Zach Wilson should play quarterback, that's just dumb. Don't be dumb. That's really dumb. Let Bo play. Let Bo figure things out and let Bo throw for 2 touchdowns, rush for a touchdown there as well. A 3-touchdown day from Bo Nix. 19 of 27, 206 yards, 2 touchdowns, no INTs, was sacked 3 times. So having gone a couple of games without a sack, getting sacked 3 times, certainly pressured. Max Crosby playing. Quarterback hits was only 4. So, not taking that beating out there, but that's good. Obviously, that's a really good thing. Let me count up the number of receivers that he used. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 different Denver Broncos caught a pass from Bo Nix. 11. 19 completions. 11 different receivers. That is spreading the ball around. As I've often said, Bo Nix's favorite guy is the open guy. Javonte Williams with 4.7 yards per carry. He looked back there as well. But I wanted to start out with the defense, with the defense specifically. Pat Surtain, the big play. Riley Moss with his first interception. And he was like not wanting any sort of celebration except for the one all the way down at the end zone that he could do himself. He's like waving off. Think of Sternod that he ran by and kind of waved off, pushed his hand away because like let me have this moment. Riley Moss had that moment, and it was awesome. Troy and Mendes are always better with a Broncos win. And what does it mean? You beat Tampa Bay in their place in a week where they were overlooking you. They overlooked the Denver Broncos. Broncos beat that ass. You went to New York in a downpour, Aaron Rodgers looking 1,000 years old, and you beat them in an ugly win. It's an ugly win, but it was a win. But then to come home and talking to all the players this week in the locker room, they were all happy to be home. I'm not saying they totally didn't like the trip to West Virginia. All I'm saying is every single player to a man, when I brought up, you like being home? And they're like, oh, yeah. Yeah. But then to come out and play like this, right? And to put it on the Raiders, not just a win, not an ugly win, and not necessarily a pretty win either. Plenty of things to get to. Troy Franklin catch the damn ball. But a big win, a win where you pulled away and you never let them back in. And that's what you do with an opponent. Sometimes it'll take patience. At halftime, it was curious the way this game was going. It didn't look good. And you're just like, okay, you got some points there at the end. That's always Sean Payton's plan. That's why he defers most of the time, not all the time, because he wants the ball at the end of the first half and then gets it right back at the beginning of the second half. So they were able to do that today. That was good. So, this wasn't like a perfect game. They didn't play perfect by any means. Defensively, they even had some problems early on. Fixed those in the second half. So you're seeing second half adjustments. You're seeing Bo get better. You're seeing Bo spread the ball around. You're seeing the health of a ground game helping you out. Javonte looking good. Still wanted to see a little Blake Watson today. We didn't get to see any of that. Lucas Kroll did play. We only had 1 catch. Nice block. And then also a motion down at the goal line where it was the Raiders that were called offsides by his motion. But anyway, all right. So again, not a perfect game, but a game where they come out, they win, and they go away, and they don't let the Raiders back in it. And that's very important because a lot of young teams, they might get a big lead and then start resting on their laurels. And once they have that big lead, they might just kind of coast. And then a team comes back and then they try to get back in it, but you can't because you've upset the football gods by coasting in the first place. Like, you didn't see any of that. You didn't see any of that. Blind Swordsman says, my son likes to say, the Raiders are poopy. That's right. Finally, Mike says, defense. And do you believe Broncos country, says DMC. That's right. Dom. What's up, Dom? Dom's traveling all around, all over the place. Go Broncos. I thought I said good Broncos. Go Broncos. Way to go, Dom. Or le pues to you, my friend. Cecil, I totally get it now when you talk about Troy Franklin. I will get to him in a little bit. Yeah, I'm trying to get more of your chats up here so I'm not like an hour and a half behind at the end of the show, which is only an hour, so I can't be an hour and a half behind. Either way, this was a great win because it didn't start out great on either side. You definitely have, things to clean up. They played perfectly and they beat a bad Raiders team by a lot. You go, okay, well, yeah, I mean, they played perfect and the Raiders stink. Well, the Raiders stink. The Broncos didn't play perfect. And at halftime, it was like, I don't know what we're watching. And then at the end of this game, it's like, okay, a secure win. So that's the second half adjustment right there. Defensively, making the adjustments, making sure that they didn't get their ground game going, something they had been doing. And you ran enough. Again, 28 times, 27 passing attempts, 28 rushing attempts, 27 passing attempts. That's perfect. And I know 8 of those carries were Bo Nix plays, so maybe 1 was a designed run and 7 were pass plays. Okay, whatever. But still, I like that number of more rushing attempts than passing attempts. I like the balance from the Broncos. Now, they did have 115 yards. The Raiders did 115 and 1 rushing touchdown. And some of that was garbage time. Was that Abdullah had the late run that was like 40 yards, a little bit of garbage time, but Aiden O'Connell comes in, doesn't do anything. Gardner Minshew throwing that big pick 6. And like I said, other than that big 57-yarder, Brock Bowers, and a touchdown. It was held under 100. But again, with Pat Surtain as the nearest defender, it was 2 targets and 2 interceptions. So you love seeing that. And I love seeing that defense kind of bow up. Because Minshew is one of those like DGAF quarterbacks. Got to clean it up for radio or YouTube or whatever this is. Of like, okay, he just doesn't care. He doesn't care about coverage. Doesn't care about reading defenses. He doesn't care about properly going through progressions. He doesn't care about not throwing interceptions, but he'll go for it. And that's why on that play to Bowers, the touchdown, it's like he's going to take that chance. And of course it was PJ Locke on Bowers at that time, slipped up. Bowers takes it, outruns PS2, and it's touchdown Raiders. So it started out and you're like, oh crap. I don't want the Raiders to win 9 in a row. Didn't want them to win 8 in a row. Didn't want them to win 1 in a row. But you got it back in the throwbacks, because here's the other thing. And I didn't tweet it during the game. I mostly don't like tweeting during the game. But those throwbacks, perfect. But here's the thing. You want to ruin that look? Go out there and lose to the Raiders. You want to make everyone remember this game forever and ever and ever? Have a 100-yard pick 6 and beat the Raiders down. It's exactly what the Denver Broncos did. And it was beautiful, man. It was awesome to see. But as much as we talk about the throwbacks and they're perfect and they're the best uniform ever, like, yeah, that doesn't matter if they lose to the Raiders today. So the win, very important to keep the streak alive, 3 in a row for the Broncos. The win, very important to get the home crowd fired up. Of course, with 3 of the next 4 at home, you got the Chargers, then you go short week to the Saints, and then you have the Panthers after that. Like, you're looking at, of the next 3 games, you want a couple more wins. Hell, you want 3 more wins out of the next 3 games. But, get the home crowd fired up. Bo Nix introduced the home crowd. That was fantastic. But Pat Surtain, Justin Sternad was making plays again as a defender, and you love to see that. I talked to Coach Katwika, the special teams coach, last week on Thursday about like how happy he is for a guy like Sternad who wanted defensive snaps. Now, again, he wasn't perfect. There were at times when he was on Bowers, and had it not been for a bad throw, that's another big completion. There was one down the left sidelines where Locke again was on Bowers. And if that pass was on the mark, that's maybe a touchdown. So again, not perfect, but a win that you won going away. So what does that say about the team? It says that they're well coached. It says that they believe in each other. In fact, it's something I asked Jonathan Cooper in the locker room when Mason and I go around and we talk to everybody. I asked Cooper this. I'm going to play this clip because I think it's important to the conversation today for this game. But I asked Cooper, like, okay, it's not just you guys on defense. I see you in the offense, like, coming together and believing each other. And I just wanted to hear Coop, who's one of my favorite guys to talk to, discuss, like, the bond that this entire team has. This is not the defense versus the offense. It easily could be. The defense is balling out. The offense kind of stinks sometimes. Today they were much better, but they had to get better because they didn't start out hot. It took a yelling match between Sean Payton and Bo Nix for that. But anyway, listen to what Coop says about this team and the bond that they have together.
Yeah, no, we're close. We're all close. I feel like the trip even made us even closer. We all love each other, like we all have been knowing each other for a while. Like some of us who have stayed here, even some of the guys that come in, you always welcome them with open arms and everything like that. Everybody just kind of gets along. Everybody has a good feel for each other when we're around each other. So I love this defense. I love this defense, love this team. I love what we're doing. I just want us to keep working hard and keep getting better every day.
Yeah, keep getting better every day. It's exactly what they do. But again, when we can take away what happened, like they started out, it was rough. Even defensively, it was rough. Halftime, they get it together, and then they soar and excel. So not a perfect game, but a big, big win against a bad team. The Raiders aren't a good team. So, you beat the Buccaneers. That's a good team. The Jets aren't really a good team. The Raiders aren't a good team. But you're supposed to beat those that are on the schedule. And if they're a bad team, and you're a good to above average team, you want to beat them down. That's exactly what the Broncos did. So I think it's weak sauce. I didn't get into it last week on Dover and Cecil, 10 a.m. to 2. Make sure to listen. But Stokely was talking about on the morning show, like, man, I haven't beat anybody. And they was talking about CU. It's like, okay, but you play the teams in front of you. You're supposed to beat them down. And if they're a bad team, UCF or the Raiders or the Jets or whoever, I don't care. If you're playing them, oh, you haven't played anybody. Yeah, but did you win? Yes, you did. And the Raiders are a tailbone team. Yeah, they are. Antonio Pierce, who I happen to like personally, probably not going to have a job for too much longer if he keeps coaching this way and has these sorts of problems. Maybe he gets another year. Who knows? Who cares? But that's a terrible team, but you kick their ass. That's a thing. And even if you barely beat a terrible team, at the end of the day, you could say, well, you won, right? And so I like this sort of game because it's not like you're everything's perfect and you're soaring and you're flying high and just it's all coming up roses. Like, no, you've got plenty of things to work on. And you can. So imagine what happens when they're out clicking on all cylinders, right? Think of it now. They're 3-2. Had to drop the first couple in one-score games. And Justin Fields, and what he's done as a passer this year is a lot better than people thought. Kenneth Walker is amazing, so he was trouble for Seattle, but they had to figure it out to beat Denver. So you lost a couple of one-score games. Then you've gone on a 3-game win streak. Good. What does that mean when you're clicking? Right now, they're not clicking. They're clicking on one side of the ball for the most part, but as a team, they're not. Special teams coming through. Marvin, Mims. I've only gone 19 minutes into this show. I've yet to bring up Marvin Mims. Again, a lot to get to, so it's a little bit of brained up. Sorry if it's scatterbrained because I'm a little scatterbrained, but I'm a lot happy for this team because of the victory, because of the way they handled their business. So imagine what happens when they're fully, man, when they are all firing on all cylinders, right? What does that look like? I think it'd look pretty damn good. And so thanks to the defense for pulling it together, keeping the team in it. Thanks to, of course, the special teams for helping them keeping it in as well. The Mims return was big. The Mims carry was big. Like Mims making plays out there, it was big. And that's the type of speed that he has. A little bit of a dump off pass. He can, and again, the thing with Marvin Mims, because I got questions on Twitter about it, like, why isn't Mims playing? Like, I don't really have the answer. I know that he seems frustrated, but I also know that I don't care if he can't run every route because he can't. Not right now. But you can dump it off to him and let him turn on the speed. That's what Marvin Mims can do. So there you go. Club dub. Yeah, that's right. Club dubs getting together. And Victory Lap says that's how you end a streak. Yes. Beautiful day. Diggity. No diggity. What a beautiful day. Broncos country. And in Bo, we do trust. As I lay down to sleep, remember the Raiders fans who began to weep. That's too long for me to read. I never learned how to read. Huh. And here's Travis right here. Travis, perfect call. I don't care what what? English. Do you speak it? We still need someone who can consistently catch the ball. I'll read the second sentence. Still need someone who consistently can catch the ball. That's right. Because Bo's still not getting the help that he needs. For all the ridiculous Bo haters out there, like, what if Troy Franklin catches that big one? Then what's Bo's day? Because that was 45 yards. Somebody in the chat room, correct me if I'm wrong. So now, he's pushing over 250. He'd have 3 touchdowns, including a big one. Okay, what would that have looked like? So Bo with the 3 touchdown day. Silence says PS2 best and the best corner. PS2 the best game system and the best corner. Best game system of all time. Yeah, I'd have to say that for the moment that it was out, of course. I play my PS2 more than PS3 or even PS4. More than PlayStation 1 because I can play PS2 games reverse compatible. Everyone's all bored now because I'm talking about video games. I blame Silence PP7. But yeah, PS2, best corner. And this is why, people have questions, which is fine. I'm here to celebrate. I'm not here to be pissed off, although it doesn't take much. For the people who are like, why would you even pay? Like, oh my God. I hope that critical thinking returns to us as a society. I hope that critical thinking comes back when it comes to sports analysis, because there were people questioning, why do you pay Pat Surtain? That's why you pay Pat Surtain. He takes away half the field. He eliminates the best player of the opponent. That's why you pay him. It's stupid. Again, 2 rules in life. Don't be dumb. Don't be in a cult. It's dumb, really, really dumb to question, well, why would you do that with Surtain? I'm glad they did it now. What's that price tag like after this sort of game? What's that price tag like after this year? It's one of my things with Jonathan Cooper. It's like, can you get Coop done during the year? Maybe in January? Like, don't want to lose that guy. And I know you've got some young rushers, Jonah Ellis on the pick 6, Ellis getting the pressure on Minshew, and then pancaking Minshew. Is there a better feeling sports-wise? Okay, maybe that's a question. Like, what's the best feeling in all of sports? Like pancaking someone, blocking a shot, or throwing down a dunk, or hitting like a home run. I never hit a home run, but I'm sure that's a tremendous feeling. In sports, what's that best feeling? Because pancaking a guy is going to be right up there, and pancaking a quarterback and not getting a flag, even though they did throw it, of course. Refs in the NFL are terrible. I mean, god awful. All across the league. I don't even care what game you talk about. Every single official, call this an unfair generalization if you must, but every official in the NFL stinks. Might be a little hyperbolic, but either way, this is a big win, and it's one where Bo comes through and he's learning. Thank you, Broncos football junkie. I called a Surtain pick 6 in this game, and I said 3 TDs for Bo. I was thinking 3 passing TDs, but I will take it. 3 TDs for Bo. He's getting better, everybody. He's getting better. For the lame-ass people, and I'm probably just going to cuss on this stream. I don't even care, because they're pissing me off about these people who are like, whoa, Bo and Sean, they don't look very good. They're learning each other. And sometimes when you're learning in a working relationship, sometimes it's going to take some yelling. Sometimes it's going to take some heated moments. Do you want the same thing or not? And Bo Nix, Sean Payton, they want the same thing. And Sean's got to be better in setting up Bo. A lot of Bo's struggles, now some has been his footwork, which is odd, which leads to accuracy problems. I saw people on Twitter asking, like, where's the accurate Bo from Oregon? Well, watch his feet. It's pretty flippin' easy. I'm going to try, people. It's pretty flippin' easy to see why he's not accurate at times, because his feet have been bad, which wasn't something that he did in college. So sometimes it's on him. But a lot of this Bo struggles have been on Sean and calling the ridiculous plays in order that he does. And Bo, I don't know what that was, and someone's probably in the locker room right now talking about it, but it's like, that was Bo Nix bowing up to Sean Payton, and I love that, man. And not only do I love that, but I believe Sean Payton loves that as well. I've been on the other side of both of those guys. I might be amongst the only ones in media that have been on the wrong end of a Bo Nix interaction and a Sean Payton interaction. For Bo, it was at the Senior Bowl when I asked him about working from under center because it was terrible. And he's like, next question. He kind of bowed up at me. And I love that, man. I love a guy having some fire. Somebody, again, this whole show is just me reacting to morons on Twitter. Somebody asked me, like, I haven't seen the fire in Bo. You see it now? Do you see the God blessed fire now? Do we have to have this discussion? It's like the stupid confidence questions that come out about Bo Nix. Sean Payton is not losing confidence in Bo Nix. Bo Nix is not losing confidence in Sean Payton. Everyone shut up. Like, that's what it is. It's not happening the way that you think it's happening because of whatever happened before or whatever story you've got to write. Like, no, watch, learn, know, grow. Like, that's what Bo Nix is doing right now. And when Bo and Sean go like this, it's actually a good thing, because we've seen Sean Payton yell at his quarterback, and we've seen Russell Wilson just stand there and not do anything. I think Sean would have liked it if Russ would have bowed up to him. If Russ would have been like, how about this, coach? Hey, you said this, I'm going to say this, right? And that's how heated it gets. It's football. I don't want this to be patty cake. I don't want this to be some sort of kindergarten hokey pokey, right? Like you're just dancing around, a bunch of nonsense. No, I'm going to get pissed. You're going to get pissed. We both want the same thing. Let's go. Right? And it was Sean kind of putting his hands. Don't ever put your hands on another man. Never rub another man's rhubarb. But like he put his hands on another man because he put his hand on Bo's numbers. And Bo's like, and that kind of pissed him off. Good. Excellent. And now Sean knows, okay, there's that line. I'm going to get you there. But you've got to get back at him. And Sean likes that. Sean doesn't like the guys that will, kind of run and hide, if you will. He doesn't like the people that are intimidated by him. He's an intimidating presence because, well, one, he has all the power within that Broncos building. So is there some intimidation? Sean Payton loves to use that as a motivator. Yes, but that's also his quarterback. Sean Payton doesn't want his quarterback to be scared of him. He wants his quarterback to want to win as much as he wants to win, and Bo probably wants to win more. Like, Sean's won. He's got hardware. I'm sure he'd like to get back because he hates Roger Goodell, allegedly. But Bo, yeah, I think Bo's going to be all right, right? I think Bo's going to be all right because he fought back, because he yelled back, because he was like, don't touch me. Don't touch me. And I thought it was great. And even Davis Webb, you always want the guy. Years ago, Mike Shanahan would be that for John Elway, and certainly the Dan Reeves era, stuff like that. But like, you see how Bo Nix had Davis Webb, who was kind of like rodeo clowning Sean Payton a little bit, like over here. But he didn't need to because Bo stood up for himself. And then Bo, by the way, that sequence that we saw, people at the stadium have said that went on for like 3 minutes because Bo yelled at the receivers, yelled at Sean. Like, yeah, he was pissed. The effort wasn't enough. The effort wasn't good. Bo made it better through the demand for excellence. Don't look in life for perfection. Look to be excellent. because you're not going to be perfect. You know, things aren't going to be perfect. A game plan's not going to be perfect. A game flow is not going to be perfect, but you want to be excellent. And when someone on your team is not being excellent, then call them out. And I don't care if you're a rookie, he's got a C on his chest. Call him out. It's what Bo Nix did. He went after his coach, right? And I'm sure, and chat room, keep me up on this, because of course I'm sitting here blabbing and I'm not watching for any post-game pressers, although I will be writing about it, denversports.com. I'm sure they'll, oh yeah, hey, it just happens sometimes. It does. It does. But the thing is Sean Payton probably really enjoyed that. He really enjoyed that because it shows Bo has a backbone and is not just going to cower to whatever he wants. Well, and that's even includes changing plays. That includes, suggestions in the headset that Bo can wipe away, call his own play. Like, again, they're learning together. They won 3 in a row. They won 3 in a row. And they're doing it together. Also, you look at the rushes and the rushing touchdowns. I believe the broadcast had it of rushes over 10 yards. Only Jaden Daniels has more. Like, yeah, of course, because that's Jaden Daniels. But Bo Nix is playing really good football, and he's getting better, and he's nowhere even near his peak, right? You always got to worry about, and Dennis Miller always used to say, like, you may never be more blank than you are right now. So, you may never be richer than you are right now. You may never be more loved than you are right now. Whatever that is, you may never be more blank than you are right now. Well, I can blankety blank guarantee you Bo Nix is nowhere near his peak. Like, nowhere near his peak. So again, with this team, you think, wow, they're 3-2 and they're not even playing perfect football. They're not even playing their best football. What's that look like when they are playing their best football? They're 3-2 now, and they're kind of stumble, bumble, fumble sometimes. What about when they're playing their best football? What are they? Could be pretty good. I look at Bo Nix, and again, Nix is learning. 60 yards against the Jets. Yeah, they won. But today, 206 yards, 2 touchdowns, a rushing touchdown. Like, he's learning, he's getting better. What did I say earlier? 11 receivers caught a pass today. I mean, that's spreading around in a way that you don't see hardly anybody spreading around. So he's learning, and we're probably at, I would say, 40% of full Bo Nix. 40 might even be too high. It may be 25%. What we've seen from Bo Nix is a small fraction of the player that he's going to be. So you can see this small fraction and go, Bo's terrible, put in Zach Wilson. And I literally got those texts. I better be careful. I might start naming names. Put in Zach Wilson in the first half. The dumbest thing of all time. Absolutely dumb. Don't be dumb. And as I went off a week or so ago, whenever it was, when Josh brought up Zach Wilson, and I was just like, and Josh wasn't doing it to be like, Zach Wilson, he just suggested it because it's what talk show hosts do. And I lost my mind because I'm like, I don't want to talk about Zach Wilson. If we're talking about Zach Wilson, it means Bo Nix is not doing it. And I want Bo Nix. I'm going to go do it. I want Bo Nix to be that guy so that we don't have a conversation about Zach Wilson. I could give a damn about Zach Wilson. I don't care about trading him. I don't care about, whatever he's on. Like, I don't care anything about that, about anything with Zach Wilson. I like to make a bang bus joke once in a while talking about Zach Wilson since Bo Nix was on the struggle bus. That's about all I want to say about Zach Wilson because I just don't care. Hey, could we get a 5th rounder? I don't care. Yeah, ship him out. Yeah, whatever. I'm not in the Zach Wilson reclamation business. Boy, I hope Sean Payton can fix Zach. I don't care. I hope Sean Payton can get the best out of Bo. And you know what? It's coming. It's not even here yet. Like, that's the great thing, right? We're not even close. I said 40%. Again, might be too high. We're barely seeing what Bo Nix can be. Now, fast forward it and imagine what Bo Nix will be when all is said and done. It's pretty damn exciting. It's pretty damn exciting when you get help from the ground game. Jaleel McLaughlin out there making plays. Jaleel, just get him somewhere in the flat near pay dirt, and he's going to score. He's going to get to that pylon. It's absolutely amazing to see. But Javonte, 13 carries, 61 yards, big run of 17 yards to benefit his day. You love to see that. And they run enough, 28 carries, 109 yards, 3.9 a carry. One of those, the Marvin Mims, 17-yard carry. Yes, more Marvin Mims, please. More Marvin. He can't do everything. I don't care. More Marvin, less Troy Franklin, and can Devon Vele get a jersey? Right? Can we get Devon Vele back out there? Mr. 8 catches. I don't care what the total was, but 8 targets, 8 catches in game 1. Yes, more. Chris saying the Troy Franklin drop was inexcusable. That's right. Brad D, excellent to take down the Raiders. Leadhead. PS2 just elevated himself to champ level with this win. I must say, when they did victory formation and Surtain was out there with the offense, I was like, wonder what Surtain would look like running a route. Anyway, Orange Crush. Yes, appropriate uniform for the occasion. My heart is full. I believe. What streak? Defense. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Caleb says, Bo, it hit him in the hands. I don't 1000% disagree with Caleb. Bo could have put a little bit better touch on whatever, but it hit him in the hands. So, that's inexcusable. I don't care if you had to slow down to get it. There was nobody around him, and he just dropped a touchdown. But it was good. Good to see the offense get going. David with the Riley Moss is legit. That is correct. I think the main thing about Riley Moss that I appreciate is he wants the attention. Most people would, shy away from it or lose confidence. Damari Mathis lost his confidence. When you get that sort of attention opposite of Pat Surtain, because you shouldn't go at Pat Surtain. Memo to Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew or whoever, probably shouldn't go at Pat Surtain. But when you go at Riley Moss, he's going to get you as well. And he has talked in the locker room about wanting that attention. I know I'm going to get it, so bring it on. And so you love to see that. And having those 2 corners, and do not forget about Jaquan at slot, and having these 3 corners coupled with that rush. Remember, it's rush and cover. So it's the rush bringing the heat. It's guys in the secondary turning the ball around, maybe even getting a pick 6 like Surtain did. These are amazing things. And you love to see that. You love to see that from Riley Moss, who's, again, only getting better. Think about all these guys. Other than Surtain, who we know that's where Surtain's at. That's his level. It's upper echelon. It's upper elite level. That's Pat Surtain. Bo Nix way down here. But he's got, that tier 1 level in him eventually. Where do they get there, right? That's going to be fun. Where do they get there? That's going to be really, really fun. About time we beat the Raiders. Yeah, it's been too long. Too long. Roger says, so many flashbacks of players in that uniform. How could you not think of Elway or Rulon Jones? Where's the love for Greg Cragen, right? Tommy Jackson, my second favorite player of all time. Love Tommy Jackson. But yeah, Bo chewing out that. Bo knows how to beat the Raiders. Yep. Defense is legit. That is correct. Coco, what's up? And this team, the defense is everywhere. The offense is figuring it out. And even a guy like Courtland Sutton. Travis says he lost his voice. Throat coat T, Travis. I want to bring up Courtland Sutton, because Sutton on the day He gets 2 catches, 32 yards. Now, 5 targets. He was the second most targeted behind Javonte. Javonte was 6 targets, 5 for 50. Court with 5 targets, 2 for 32. And those other 3 that didn't get home, I'm not saying they were forced. I don't believe that, but there was like this emphasis to get Court the ball, and it wasn't working. Now, a lot of players in the NFL, they might have stuff designed for them. Maybe they don't, and they'll just be frustrated. But a lot of guys will have plays designed for them, and then it's not working, and they'll check out. If it's not working for them, they'll check out and the rest of their responsibilities. I really want to emphasize, because as I went through this game, and again, just watching the TV copy as someone who, humble brag, only likes to watch coaches tape, like, okay, sitting through the TV copy, the one thing I noticed is that Court never relented. Court was never taking a play off. He was never disinterested when it called for him to block. And in fact, not only was Court not disinterested, he was engaged in the way many, many players are not. And my buddy Mike, he tweeted at me during the game, and he was like, when are they going to pay him? Yeah, I don't know about that. We'll see. But when you have that sort of effort from a captain, from a leader, from a veteran that, and again, he's a wide receiver. So wide receivers are divas. Brandon Stokely is a diva. Marvin Mims is a diva. Emmanuel Sanders is a diva. Court's, he's got diva tendencies. Don't make a mistake. He does. But like Emmanuel, like Stoke, hopefully more like Marvin Mims, but we see Courtland leading the way with his effort, even if the play's not going to him, or even if the plays that are designed for him aren't working, because you force field the ball to Court and it works. You force field the ball to Court and it doesn't work. He doesn't take the plays off. He's still out there blocking. He's still out there engaged. He's still out there dialed in. And that is something that you won't see a lot of pros do. And remember, yeah, you can be a pro, but are you a professional? Well, Courtland Sutton is a professional. There is no doubt, because a lot of guys, and I've seen it over 20 years of professionally covering the NFL, like, guys, I'm not getting the ball today. Yeah, whatever. Forget these guys. You know, they'll stop running routes. They won't even block. They'll just stop being engaged with their teammates. Sutton's out there. When someone else is making a big catch, he's celebrating with his teammates, right? When Bo needs that support, he's out there going to him. Bo needs to keep his chin up. Courtland Sutton's a guy that can help him do just that. Doesn't get down on himself. You know, will have a bad play, but it doesn't resonate. It doesn't linger because of the efforts of someone like Courtland Sutton. And I think that's super important for this young team. Remember, they're a young team. They weren't supposed to be this good. And whatever, I can't remember. Was it ESPN or somebody had them as like the 32nd ranked roster? These guys are terrible. They're not supposed to win 3 games. Well, they just did. And I don't care what the number is. Again, nobody cares about your parlay. It went from nobody cares about your fantasy team to nobody cares about your parlay, because people, yeah, nobody cares. I don't care what the over-under was. Oh, those big buildings in Vegas. Yeah, I don't care about any of that. I don't care. Sorry. That's just me. I watch football because I love football, not because I could win some money off of it. I love football because this game is brutal and beautiful and strategic and overpowering. And it's like everything. There's so much beauty involved in this game that to kind of, I don't know, soil it with some disgusting gambling thing, it's like, that's not for me. If it's for you, get down how you get down, baby. I don't really care. But for me, a guy like Courtland Sutton, Sutton, they didn't hit my parlay because of Courtland Sutton. Forget you. That's what I would say. Because Sutton's out there doing what a football player needs to do. He's doing out there what a teammate needs to do. He's doing out there what a professional needs to do. Ball's not coming to me, I'm still blocking my ass off. Had a little drop, a little pass was off, whatever. I'll get the next one. My quarterback had a bad play, he's a little bit down. I'm going to go talk to him. Bo's yelling at the receivers. Guess who's going to be right there being like, he's right, Courtland Sutton. Because Court's got the skins on the wall to steal a term from John Fox, to be able to do that. Not everybody does. So the throwbacks, yes. Could they make this their permanent jersey? Sure. Eventually. Talk to me in like 5 years. But like, yes, those things were awesome. First time we've seen them since 2001 of that legacy blue, the Academy blue. First time we've seen it since 2001. And angry Nix. I like that. I like that. Ha. DMC says Cecil's back on the radio and the Broncos beat the Raiders. Everything is right in the world. Thanks everyone for the support on the new show. I certainly appreciate it. So thank you guys for doing that. Riley Moss, best white corner ever. Jason Sehorn might have something to say about that. Absolutely stand up to the coach. Yep. Go Broncos. And playoffs for Chris. I just hope we can win a game. And Josh, finally, I was nervous there for a minute. I was nervous in the first half because I was like, this is not good. And defensively, like, you let them have that Bowers touchdown, but then they came back. And again, not everything's going to be perfect. It's not time to lose your mind when Bo is struggling. It's going to take this entire season. I said I wanted Bo to play 12 games this year, and God bless him. God bless Bo Nix. Hopefully, knock on wood, he stays healthy for 17, and we get to see 17 games. We really can't make any determination until then. Are we seeing things that we didn't think we'd see with Bo? Like sometimes his feet are bad, which means his accuracy's bad. Yes. Has Bo sometimes felt pressure when it's not there? Steelers game? Yes. But have we seen good things with Bo? And again, maybe this doesn't mean as much, especially now, but in just these 5 games, Bo Nix has looked better than Trevor Lawrence did in his entire rookie season. Maybe that says a lot about Trevor Lawrence. In these 5 games, and I'd even go to 3 games, we saw Bo Nix look better than Bryce Young did as a rookie. Now, maybe it's just Bryce Young stinks, or maybe it's Carolina stinks, right? But we've seen this before. It's going to take time. There's not a half of football that's going to make me give up on Bo Nix. It's going to take this entire year, and then we can say, I like this, I like this, I don't like this. In fact, it might just take 2 years to get the honest assessment. This is what you need to work on. Now, the second year, did you work on it? And that seems to be right on the money. Tim says offense seemed to pick up after Nix and Payton butted heads. Good. Do it again. Mario says the defense could be top 3 in Broncos history. Okay. We'll put a pin in that one, right? We'd like to see that. Fiery Bo. That's right. It's there. It's always been there. It's always been there. It was there at Auburn. His Auburn days are... Auburn is like this fairy tale of tragedy of like, he was so terrible at Auburn. He wasn't as good as they wanted him to be, but there was good film at Auburn. There's really good film at Oregon. There's been good film with the Broncos, even though everything's not perfect, but the fire has always been there. There's no denying it now. There's no denying that. Sean Payton needed that from Bo Nix. Yeah. And he'll respect Bo for that. This isn't something where it's like it's fractured, or when Russell Wilson just had that blank stare on his face and Sean Payton's dog cussing him. No, turn around, dog cuss him back. You don't let another man speak to you like that. I don't care if it's your coach. You're the quarterback. Letting another man talk to you in that way in front of everybody? No, turn around, Bo up, tell him. And when Sean put his hands on Bo Nix, that's when he'd had enough. Like, don't touch me. Don't do that. So I love that. I love that. Chris says it's a great win. That's right. Great day all around. And Hip Hop says we witnessed the growth of Bo Nix today. Where the Nix haters at? Where the Riley Moss haters at? Yeah. I think it's just time to shush. Bzz. We can do like Chris Tucker in Fifth Element. Like Bo Nix. Why don't we put in Zach? Bzz. But Bo Nix says, bzz, bzz, bzz. Like a little bee buzzing. Like, bzz. Stop. I generally don't like the term haters, but I get what you mean. And I say haters a lot too anyway. So, yeah. Nix is getting more confident. That's why I was able to go after Sean. Yep. And that's the thing with Randy. Seeing the uniforms, but with a W makes it so much sweeter. Everyone's going to go out and get a throwback uniform now because they're going to remember this game. Dion says it shows respect. It does. When you can yell back and forth, you want the same thing. It shows respect. Momentum. 3 W's is a streak. D is top 3. Hawaiian says a lot of fans Broncos here in Sportsbook Las Vegas. There you go. Peyton is a gerbil. Oh, Sharon asked, did anyone from the chat room get a belt buckle? I think mine's in the other room, but either way, like, yeah, those belt buckles were sweet. Absolutely sweet. Ren says first half offense was brutal. That's true. Yeah, and Sherry brings up something. Thank God they did not trade Sutton. Who else would be doing that? All the Sutton things, I praised Courtland Sutton for his effort when the ball wasn't going to him or when it wasn't working and how he never dialed out, like he was always dialed in. Who else would do that? I wouldn't have faith in Josh Reynolds to do that. I'm glad he caught the touchdown because that's always a question mark with Josh. It just is. Victory says, yep, people criticizing PS2 was wild. Make the throwbacks the default home jersey. We could get to that point in the NFL. You saw the Texans jerseys today where it's just like, this is what, and then on the road, we'll wear the regular stuff, but at home, we're going to wear this. So perhaps. Yeah. Loving the relationship between Peyton and Bo. They'll keep blossoming together. And honestly, I think more of that's on Peyton. Zenith is in San Diego, which is fantastic. Ones and zeros says Drew Brees made it very clear for Bo to be successful with Sean Payton. Bo must just be as demanding as Sean as he is with you as QB. Yep. Be as demanding back to your coach because you'll fire him up. You'll motivate him to call a better game. It's not Sean Payton's system. That was always also another dumb conversation. Like, is Sean Payton's system antiquated? No, not at all. Is Sean Payton a little off as a play caller? Yes. This game was better, or I got better. It was better in the second half. Need to wear the uniforms all year long. That's right. Go Broncos, go. Cecil 7 days a week. Yeah. The Saturday show we pre-recorded, but still, like, yeah, this show, Orange Blue Today, is 7 days a week during the regular season. Again, Vegas Larry. What's up, Vegas Larry? No INTs for Bo. So you start out with 4, and now you have 3 touchdown passes and 4 INTs. So yeah, control it. Don't fumble it. Don't throw interceptions. Like, yes, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Was never out on Bo Nix. Good job, 3J. And no one ever get out on Bo Nix this year. Give him the entire season, and then let's make a judgment. And let's say, we'll probably have to see more, but like that's what we need to do. He's going to learn. He's going to grow. He's going to look like trash sometimes. He's going to throw 3 touchdowns sometimes. Like, that's just the way it is. And we're not going to get too high with the highs. We're not going to get too low with the lows. I want the kitchen sink thrown at Bo because he will learn from each one of those things. Again, won't get too crunchy, but if the brain is a supercomputer or it's a quantum processor, you want input so you can get better output. I won't get into retrocausality on this show, which means output can determine your input. That's a whole different topic. But if it truly is like a quantum computer, if your brain is that, then it needs the input to give you the proper output. I want Bo to get everything thrown at him. I want Bo to see everything, throw it all at him, make him look like a rookie because he won't for all time. You know what I mean? There will be moments he might take a step back against the Chargers. He might take a step back against the Saints. Panthers, I wouldn't say that, but, you know, it's the NFL. Anything can happen. But, like, when he does take a step back, we can't be like, oh, and he sucks now. No. This is the growth process. This is how a young player grows. I'm going to look good. I'm going to look less good. I'm going to look terrible, but I'm going to look good. And then I'm going to look better, but then I'm going to kind of regress, but then I'm going to look good, but then I'm going to look terrible. Like, yes. And we can't every week. I'm in on Bo. I'm out on Bo. This isn't flipping Entourage. I love Entourage, But the plot of the whole show was Vince can't do the movie. Vince can do the movie next season. Vince can't do the movie. Vince can do the movie. Like, that's it. I don't want that for Bo Nix. I'm out on Nix. I'm in on Nix. I'm totally out. I'm totally in. I totally believe. Like, no, God, please. Let's watch. Let's learn like he's learning. Let's watch him grow. Let's be excited for Bo. Be excited for this team. It's not all there yet. And you can tell where the deficiencies are. 1,000% you can tell where the deficiencies are. Mainly at your skill position players. You need better wide receivers. You need tight ends that can help. I like seeing Lucas Kroll get active today. He didn't do much. Did work as a blocker. Did have one catch. Was right there with his teammates celebrating, which was cool. On the Bo touchdown specifically, I think Kroll was one of the guys going up to him, giving him some love. So I like that. I like that at all. Franklin let the team down. Yeah, Troy's going to do that. Coming from a Raider fan, great game. All right. What's up with the slow start on offense? I think that's on Sean Payton. His first 15 need to be much better. Almost every game outside of Tampa, his first 15 have not been good. They've been off. So it comes from better game planning. Again, it's not the system. It's the order in which you call those plays or how you set things up against this team. Now, they did adjust in the second half, so that's good. So the slow start, certainly not what you want, Joey. But I think it comes from Sean Payton during the week. He needs to be better. He needs to have a better plan coming out. Usually your first 15, remember Mike Shanahan, remember Chewbacca? Remember the Mike Shanahan days? Your first 15 were the best plays of your game. But then it set up and then you had echoes the rest of the game of those first 15. With Sean, it doesn't seem like that. It doesn't seem like that at all. It says I look like Janine Garoppolo with a beard. Okay. These matches are disappointing me. 200 cigarettes reference from Janine Garoppolo. Need more Mims from 3J. That's right. We hate the Raiders. The Raiders hate themselves. To be a Raiders fan, you have to just hate yourself. So, yeah, we all hate the Raiders, including themselves. See, now Tom hits on something here, and I've said this before. I'll say it again. You got to take the training wheels off. You got to take the training wheels off. Like, I know they love having the extra tackle in. That's great. I know that they love 12 personnel, which is 2 tight ends and 1 running back and 2 receivers. That's great. You got to let Bo, give him a 5 wide receiver look. You know, you're going to have to trust Bo that he's going to make the adjustments, make the call, make the changes in protection. He's going to have to identify blitzes. So Sean is doing a good job of like kind of babying him along a little bit in a way. And I'm going to always keep in someone to block. And again, these are good things. These are good things. But eventually that will need to go away because you can't always keep an extra tight end on the field to block. You can't always put in an extra tackle who is clearly just there to block. Like, you have to someday take the training wheels off. Dion says, impressed with Mims. Mims did a good job. Marcus says they dominated on both sides. That's right. That's right. So that was good. That was good. Good game. Sitting here with a couple minutes left in the show, just looking through your chats. It is Orange Blue today, post-game live. Make sure to check out denversports.com and file in a way that Denver Sports Daily. Make sure to subscribe to it. Denver Sports Daily. It's a free daily newsletter. We don't have any stupid paywalls at our website. So come on over, read it for free. And yeah, it's denversports.com. Denver Sports Daily newsletter right to your inbox every day. Joseph said they could have. I was wondering when they got the ball back and the Raiders had 1 timeout and they went 4 and out and you get the ball on whatever, the 15 or whatever it was. Somebody in the chat room correct me. I was like, another touchdown wouldn't be bad here. It is your rival. It is a rivalry game. I mean, Sean Payton did show a little bit of mercy there because I'm pretty sure if the Broncos wanted another score, and I just said Purdy, I'm pretty sure they would have got another score. Don't want anyone to get hurt. Just go in victory formation, run out the clock, whatever. But yeah, I thought when they got the ball back, I was like, I wonder. Javonte looking like Javonte. I think we can firmly say he's back. And maybe this is what you get from him, 60, 70 yards. But yeah, fine. Don't care. You get 60 yards a game, that's a 1,000-yard season. That's for sure. All right. There you go. Feels Bo good. Feels Bo good. That's right. That's right. Denver can beat the Chargers. Chargers are going to be awfully physical, Brad. Playoff bound? Perhaps, Rick. It's not out of the question. I think it's a little bit early, but they're in that conversation for sure. So that's not out of the questions. No turnovers was key. Vegas Larry, there you go. That's a good one. Cody saying got a quarterback, got a QB2 or CB2, got a pass rush. Javonte looking stronger. You love to see it. All those things are accurate. Offensive line gets better. It's Max Crosby. Okay. So when Palczewski gives up that sack, I mean, it's Max Crosby. Palcho's not going to get them all, especially against Max Crosby. So anyway, just appreciate everyone for coming out and appreciate the Denver Broncos. Orange Crush is back. Certainly feels like it, Jeffrey. Certainly feels like it. So it feels good. And good Broncos indeed. Lucky belt buckles. Perhaps, Sharon, we all need to wear our belt buckles. And let's go Broncos. Anonymous Crush. I like that, Tom. I might steal that. Use it on the radio. They're the Orange Crush, but they're the Anonymous Crush. So there you go. Everybody loves seeing that fire. Yeah, I think everyone does love seeing that fire. And again, we'll have all the post-game comments, and I'm sure they just, it's fine. There's nothing wrong. Finally, the streak is over. Very true. Very true. Streak went on for too long. PS2 earning that money. That's right. You love to see it. Love to see it. Cat. They got my vote. Denver Broncos throwbacks for president. They got my vote. That's for sure. Bo gets first half butterflies. David, I wonder about that. I feel in week 1 that was the case. I don't necessarily feel that way now. If I get a chance to ask Bo that question, I will. Maybe I'll ask some of his teammates. Adam Troutman's always good to talk to. So, does Bo have to wind down a little bit? You know what I mean? Maybe. Let's put a pin on that. I don't necessarily agree with that, except for week 1. But it's worth noting, okay, there's beginning of these games aren't as good outside of Tampa. Tampa was really good start. So we'll see. And we'll see about that. Yep. 2 weeks now. Pretty sure we can say Devontae's back. Throwbacks are awesome. Whereas Vele, get a jersey, you're not out there. Vele needs to be out there instead of Troy Franklin. That's just my opinion. Bo Nix has always had the better chemistry with Devon Vele over his buddy Troy Franklin. Greg Dulcich done as a Bronco? I don't think so, Shannon. I don't think so. But we'll see. We'll see about that. We'll see if Lucas Kroll can keep impressing in practice, and maybe Donald Parham gets called up from the practice squad. Justin Sternad was balling out. Again, not perfect in this game, but he was making plays. You love seeing that. Pat Surtain changed the whole thing. Changed a 100-yard pick six is going to change momentum. It changed everything. There you go. Some people complaining about the socks. Young and hungry. Let's flip and go. Riley Moss is that dude. That's right. Miranda says they are playing for each other. Exactly. This was a beat down. That's right. You love to see that. So yeah, just getting caught up here on the chat room and appreciate everyone for coming out. PS2 has been dominant this season. Where's Blake? Blake Watson was active. He had a jersey on. Where's Vele? Waiting for his chance. That's for sure. Bo looks best when pushing the ball down the field is in the game plan. I'd like to see more of that as well. As well. All right. I'm going to wrap up the show so I can go do another show and then write a couple of blogs for denversports.com, including Mile High Monday. I'm cruising around on my Jeep TJ with the top down. And I always do this. My buddy Dave, he asked me, like, what year is your Jeep? And I was like, it's 99. It's a TJ. So 97 to 2006 were the Jeep TJs. I was like, it's the last good Jeeps. I was like, why? Do you have a Jeep? He goes, yeah. I was like, what year is it? He's like, 2023 or whatever. I was like, oh. All Jeeps are awesome, but the best Jeeps were 97 to 2006. Actually, the LJ is better than the TJ because the LJ with the longer wheelbase, better for off-roading. Anyway, I don't know why I talked about that. Oh, yeah, Mile High Monday, because I always write how I think about life and sports with my top down on my old Jeep TJ. That's right. Well, whatever you do, do it with the top down or top up, hard top, soft top, doesn't matter. But just have fun. Go forth, be awesome, show grace to people, be a good person. And yeah, they did it. They ended the streak, everybody. Feels great, baby. And feels great for the Denver Broncos. We'll let the boy watch. We'll watch that game again. Streak is over, says Vince Carter. Over. And that's right. That is right. There we go. That's a wrap, everybody. I'm Cecil Lammey saying thanks for watching Orange and Blue today, post-game live. Stay tuned and stay frosty.